Hi, it's Patricia Porter again with the last of the introduction to the Porter process. In this one, you are going to discover your child's learning needs. I'm going to give you a way of doing that. But let's talk first about what children's learning needs actually are. Learning is a process. It's a 4-stage process. You don't just learn like that. You have to go through a process of learning. The first part of the process is the child has to want to learn. The child has to have a desire to learn. There has to be some motivation there. The motivation can be just for the joy of learning. It can be to pass an exam. It can be to please you. It can be a variety of things. But a child has to be motivated. And there are many reasons why children are not motivated. An unmotivated child is pretty easy to recognize. But often parents think that children are lazy. Not so. The first stage of learning is motivation. Your child may need to be motivated to learn. The second stage of learning is called learning how to learn. It's having the skills that enable your child to learn. In order to learn, children need certain foundational learning skills, such as attention, such as self-confidence, such as visual learning skills. I've got a set of 12 learning skills that children need in order to know how to learn. So that's the second stage. Maybe your child needs help knowing how to learn. The third stage of learning is when the child is actually in school. This overlaps with the second stage. But children have to make sense of school. They have to understand how they're being taught. How they're being taught has to match or has to be adapted to how your child likes to learn. Children learn in many different ways. I'm sure you've heard of visual learners and kinetic learners. But unless there is some kind of match between how your child is taught and how your child learns, then learning can be very difficult in school. This is why some children prefer one teacher to another. The teacher they prefer teaches in the way that they like to learn. So that's the third learning need. If your child is struggling in school, maybe he needs support in making sense of school. And the fourth stage of learning is one which I think all parents understand, and I call it move to mastery. This is where a child needs extra help, extra support in, say, a certain subject, or catch up because they've missed some lessons. And they may need this as well as help in some of the other areas of learning. This is where you get a tutor to help your child. This is where you pull in extra resources to help your child master a subject or master a certain skill. So children can need support in each of those areas, or in one of those areas. There's motivation, the desire to learn, having the skills they need to be able to learn, making sense of school, and moving to mastery. The big question is, how do you know? How do you know what your child's learning needs are? And this is where I'm here to give you my gift. I have what I call a 4 stages assessment. It looks at each of the stages, it makes some comments about each of the stages, and it's a checklist of behaviors, and it will help you discover your child's learning needs. Once you know your child's learning needs, you can find ways of matching your support, overcoming your child's learning needs. And don't forget, you're the most important person in your child's learning process. And this is your role. Your role is not to teach your child stuff. Your role is to set the scene for learning. So discover what your child needs, what kind of support he or she needs, and then you can discover how to really help your child succeed in school. Thank you for listening and watching these 4 videos. I hope you found them useful. Please contact me if you have any questions or any concerns. I'm here to help.